Welcome to The Vinyl Guide, the podcast for record collectors and music nerds. Here's your host, the biggest record nerd of them all, Nate Goyer.
Well, hey everyone, it's Nate. Welcome to episode 550 of The Vinyl Guide, the podcast for record collectors and music nerds. And today, ladies and gentlemen, incredible conversation with Max Zanelly, who is the new vocalist of Black Flag. Max joins us to discuss how she ended up joining the group, essentially coming from zero prior experience to fronting one of punk's most legendary bands. It's a pretty incredible story. Wait till you hear how she tells it. We discuss today the current touring of the band. Boy, they're all over the place. We address the rumor of new Black Flag recordings, and even how the band is moving through the online hate and starting to turn some opinions around. There are a lot of opinions flying around about this Black Flag lineup, but, keep in mind, punk is rooted in the idea of giving it a go, no matter what your background or experience level is. So I certainly wish this new lineup lots of luck, and it looks like they're having a lot of fun doing it. Again, it was a pleasure to have Max here on the podcast, and it will also be a pleasure to welcome Black Flag back to Australia, May 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Gold Coast. Tickets available at troubadourpresents.com. And hey, real quick, we've had some amazing guests on the show recently, including Max's bandmate and Black Flag and SST Records founder Greg Ginn, episode 547. We recently had filmmaker Dave Markey on the podcast. We talked about his recent documentary, The Secret Lives of Bill Bartell, episode 549. Swami John Reese joined us, episode 540. We had Mike Watt on talking about his time with the Stooges, episode 527. And of course, funk legend Bootsy Collins made an appearance, episode 522, and literally hundreds more episodes. Follow the Vinyl Guide for free in your podcast app. And you're also welcome and encouraged to support the show with a few bucks per month at patreon.com/Vinyl Guide. Please consider that. It would be so rad. Alrighty, let's start the Vinyl Guide interview with Black Flag vocalist Max Zanelly.
Hello.
Max.
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Where in the world are you, Max?
I'm in Toronto right now, in Canada.
Oh, okay. All right. Are you guys post-gig or pre-gig?
This is we finished our Canada tour last week. So right now I'm just at home for a little while.
Oh,
at my
okay.
parents' place.
Ah, okay. Canada's home for you then.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. All right. And you're recouping your voice?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Resting up as much as I can.
Yeah. Well, thanks for making the time. First off, have you ever been to Australia before?
No, I haven't. Are you from Australia?
I am not. I was raised in California, but I moved here 20-something years
Oh,
ago.
okay.
Yeah, but it's paradise, but don't tell everyone, please.
I'm excited to check it out.
Very good. Well, we're excited to have you this week on the show. Max Zanelly, Black Flag, 4 days in Australia coming up, May 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st. Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Gold Coast. Get your tickets at troubadourpresents.com. And Max, so you've had quite a year, I believe. This time last year, were you a member of Black Flag?
This time last year, I had just started rehearsing with the guys. I had Texas for the first time and had just started rehearsing with the guys.
Okay.
So yeah, it has been an insane year for me.
Were you the last to be added in the new lineup?
I mean, yeah, I guess I was the last one to go out and rehearse with them. The guys were kind of already practicing with the instrumentals, and then I went out there.
Tell me a little bit about your origin story, how you launched yourself into Black Flag, but maybe even beforehand, I mean, what was your involvement with music prior to this?
To be honest, yeah, well, this whole thing with Black Flag, it's been kind of my first experience really being involved with music in the sense of performing and stuff. especially on vocals. Like before, like I played in my middle school band, like I used to play the saxophone, but I wouldn't really equate that too much to what I'm doing right now with Black Flag. But I feel like even from back then, like I think I really loved being on stage. And I don't know, I feel like I was never really in an environment where I felt like I could make music myself or like be in a band or like kind of have that openness to try something else. Like I don't know, I never really had any friends that were involved too much with music. So it's something that I'd always been really curious about, but I never really pursued. And then when I met the band, I was living in Vancouver at that time and I had gone to one of their shows. And that's when I watched like the old lineup play. Like this was like last year, January. And I saw them performing and I guess I was front row, really enjoying myself at the show. Because I've already like been listening to Black Flag for a long time, so being able to see them live was a really special experience for me. And I was just up there, singing along to all the songs, kind of like word for word. And then at the end of the show, Greg had come up to me and he said that he had noticed me singing and he had asked me if I'd been in a band before and that he really liked my energy and that he could see that I, knew all the songs. And after that, we exchanged phone numbers because he was telling me how he wanted to make music with me someday. And I never really thought much of it. Like, honestly, I really didn't think anything would come from it. And then, like, a month later, I was traveling and I had received a text message from him. He was telling me how the lead singer of the band had left and that he thought of me and if I wanted to give it a try. And I said, why not?
That's got to be a bit of a mind trip. And by the way, let's be truthful here. When someone exchanges phone numbers with you, there's got to be some suspicion there, yeah?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I really didn't think anything was gonna happen from it because I was like, oh, like he lives in America, he's touring with the band, like I'm here in Canada. Like I really didn't think anything was gonna happen. But to hear from him after that was a surprise to me, actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All
But,
right. So you get this text message. He's in Texas. He says, you want to give it a go. Did you do anything remotely or did you have to fly down there to for the first
well, I
audition?
did send him a few like audios that he had asked me to, try sending him a few audios of like, just me singing along to some of the songs, and I sent that over to him. And then after that, like he asked me to come down to Texas to start rehearsing with the band.
Oh, made you the offer right
Yeah.
there. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
let's do it. That's pretty insane. So the material, you were familiar with all the material already. Did you have a
Yeah.
particular period of Black Flag that you gravitated towards more than the others?
Mm, I think what really like got me into Black Flag, like the first album that I was super into, I feel like it's kind of like, well, of course, My War. I think that was the thing that really got me into like listening to Black Flag. And then I started listening to a lot of the like earlier stuff after that. But yeah, I would say, to be honest, like the whole discography really called out to me and really interested me from the get-go. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's the question. My War, side one or side two?
Ooh. Oh my gosh. I would say side two.
Okay. You like the
Side two.
sludgy, dirgy.
Yeah, no, for sure. I remember like I would be because I used to work as a waitress and like I would be driving home from my waitressing jobs, like singing along to all these songs, just kind of like out of frustration of my like, of my job and at that time in my life. I remember just like blasting it in my car and like singing along to those songs. And I feel like the slower, sludgier songs really got to me. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Hmm. Is there a song or two that you really identify with more than the others?
Mm, oh, I feel like I would say like to be honest, my favorite song off the My War album would be Three Nights. I really love that song.
Mm.
Three Nights, Nothing Left Inside, like those slower songs. I love performing Nothing Left Inside. That one's a lot of fun for me. And then I also really love muy entrevista.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also really love sorry. Oh, when we play Clocked In, I love we do like a few songs like kind of like, back to back, and I really love playing like Clocked In a lot. I feel like that really calls out to me, and it's something that I related to a lot in the past with working my other jobs and stuff. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you quit your job, obviously. You flew to Texas, you auditioned. Now you're doing these tours. Have you
Yeah.
relocated to Texas now?
No, to be honest, I really haven't spent like I feel like every time that I do have time off from the band, like if I ever have like a month or two off, I end up just traveling. So I really haven't like stayed anywhere for too long the past year. I've really been just bouncing around and traveling all over the place. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciate that with the band. Like I kind of have the freedom to do that. But I do spend time in Texas with the band when I'm rehearsing with them. And then I'll come up here and visit my family when I can. But I've also spent a lot of time in Brazil because I have family out there. So yeah, I'm kind of all over the place.
Okay. All right. Now, we heard a couple weeks ago that there were some recordings being done. What can you
Mhm.
share about kind of what maybe the next chapter of Black Flag may sound like?
Mm. To be honest, it's still like such a work. It's a work in progress. A work in progress. I feel like we're at the very like beginning stages of it still. Just with like recording the instrumentals. Honestly, I feel like I also haven't really heard too much of what it's all about. But right now, I'm kind of focusing on like getting some inspiration, writing some lyrics, just focusing on that part of it and just seeing how I can, piece that together with the instrumentals once that all of that is ready.
Okay. So you're writing lyrics. You're
Yeah.
okay. All right. All right. How many songs? Was it demos recorded or was it a proper studio session?
I feel like I don't know too much on that side. Like, I feel like that has a lot more to do with like the guys, doing the instrumentals. But they did do a few recordings, a few demos. But I feel like there's a lot, like they've recorded a lot, but I think we're gonna kind of sift through it and like see what we want to piece together into hopefully an album at some point. But yeah, that's what
Okay.
we're working towards.
What's the name of one song? One new song.
Oh, to be honest, we haven't even gotten to that point yet. It's like at the beginning stages still. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else you could share about it? Have you road tested any of them? Have you broken out any of those in a live set?
No, we haven't actually. We haven't.
Okay.
Sometimes during a live set, we'll do like the guys will like do some kind of experimental stuff and they'll jam out a little bit. But none of that is really what we're doing in terms of the new album. That would be coming out potentially, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the three of you, David, Bryce, the new blood in the band.
Mhm.
I mean, the three of you, I think your ages collectively don't add up to Greg's right now.
Yeah.
How does that gap show up?
I mean, to be honest, I feel like it. Yes, like of course there is that age gap and there's certain like elements of it that do show, but I feel like in the end, like we're all just musicians, we're all working together and like of course like Greg has a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience with this stuff, but I feel like we kind of all work with each other in ways that where we're kind of like, taking a little bit from each other, like when I see the guys working together, like getting the instrumental part of the song and, getting that down and doing that all together, I feel like they all work together a lot. And somebody like they'll all kind of be giving each other advice on how to make it really work well. Um, but I feel like there's a lot to learn from Greg. I've spent a lot of time, just like talking to him and asking him questions and getting to know him. And yeah, I feel like in the end, the whole age thing, like I don't know. It's not something that I really focus on too much. I feel like we all just kind of relate and yeah, we have a lot of fun together, honestly. Like as a band, like I love being on the road with the guys. As much as like after a while it's like, oh, like we're on the road, like there's definitely like the tougher parts of it, but I
Mhm.
feel like we all can connect to some extent and we all have a great time together.
Yeah. Look, I think it's really quite interesting how Black Flag has kind of reblossomed and has the three of you in there. I think it's very interesting. I think it's also very new, as you I'm sure are aware. A lot of people do view that as it's odd, it's different
Yeah.
than they're used to. How do you and David and Bryce respond? How do you work through that?
I feel like, to be honest, at first it was something that, like, even before we went on tour, when it got like, when those photos got released and stuff, it's like people were looking at that. And of course, like, I feel like that's something that stands out a lot. So, we were reading through some of the comments and I was kind of getting to a point where I'm like, whoa, like everybody hates us. Like, this is crazy. Like, we were getting so much hate because of that. Um, but then once we actually started playing shows and people started seeing us live, I feel like the reaction was so different, like with the people that we interact with, on a daily basis when we're on tours. We get a lot of positive feedback, a lot of people that will come up to us and say that they used to go to the shows in the 80s, and that seeing us now like reminds them of that we have a lot of energy, that we bring out a lot of energy, and they love to see like that dynamic of us on stage. Like I feel like, of course, it's, a little bit different, but I think that we work really well together, and hearing a lot of that positive feedback has drowned out that negative noise that we were hearing like in the beginning. That was really just like the internet comments, because nobody has ever like come up to us at a show and commented on that in a negative way. The fact that we have an age gap.
No, yeah, and I think you guys have turned a lot of people around because when the pictures were released, that was all anyone had to go on.
Oh yeah.
Now you've got live footage coming out of Coachella,
Mhm.
and you guys are kind of really starting to own it, which is really great to see. And so you feel the tide is turning, and people are really having a new, fresh look at the band. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Have you been in contact with any other former Black Flag members?
No, honestly, haven't. No, I have not.
Hmm.
I remember like what was it? We did an interview with New York Times, and I think they tried to talk to Henry and he refused. And they talked to Kira and she kind of gave a little like, a little spiel about how I don't know, like how they're redoing the band too much. But I saw something online about Ron, how he was like watching one of our first shows in Bulgaria, and he was pretty impressed and happy that we're like carrying on with the music. So I think that was really nice to see.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a particular Black Flag singer that you tend to gravitate towards in terms of your personal favorite?
Ooh, to be honest, I love Henry. Like I feel like I think like when I first really got into the band, like he was one of the, singers that really called out to me. I would like watch a lot of the live performances, like the videos that are on the internet, and yeah, I just feel like he's an animal on stage and I really respect that, and I feel like I try to live up to that as much as I can on stage, because I think that's really important, just having that raw energy and being that engaging on stage is really important as a performer.
Watching some of those videos of Henry on stage, it was a very different environment, very confronting.
Yeah, for sure.
Back in the day, Black Flag shows were perhaps a bit different than they are today.
Yeah.
But how has that been for you? I mean, you must have a few, I don't know, close calls or tense moments that you've had to deal with.
I mean, I guess sometimes, we'll get some people that are like, come to the show, they're like super drunk, like up in front of the stage. Some people will like get on stage and do a little dance and then jump off. Um, but I don't think I've really had any negative experiences with people. Like I feel like usually if people want to have their moment on stage, I'll just let them. It's fine, get on, do your thing, get off. It's all good. Like Um, I think it kind of adds to it, you know. I feel like when it's like you're playing a show, I like being that connected with the crowd, you know. I love playing like small stages. Like I think playing Coachella and playing big festivals is also like a really cool experience, but I love like the smaller venues and I'm really up and close and personal with the crowd where I can kind of mix myself in with the crowd and like grab onto people as I'm singing and you know, kind of have that sort of close interaction with people. I enjoy that a lot more.
You seem pretty fearless up there. I mean, I mean, how much of adjustment did you have to do? Because going from, well, let's be fair, going from a waitressing job to singing for Black Flag, I think that would probably take a little getting used to, or was it just a natural fit from the first gigs?
I think even like thinking back to like the first rehearsals, like when the guys would be like, okay, like let's do like a quick little sound check with your mic, like for the first rehearsal, and they're like scream into your mic, and then I was like kind of shy to do that at first. I was like, oh, like I have to actually scream into a microphone. I've barely ever sang into a microphone before, you know, and now I've got to make all this noise. So that took a little bit of adjusting to, but I feel like once we rehearsed with each other long and like I think we rehearsed for like a whole month last year before actually going on tour. And I think it really helped me build that confidence of just being able to like sing and just feeling comfortable like with the guys playing and singing along to their playing. Um, and then it's like I'll look back to like some of the first shows and I remember when I had to get out on stage, I'm like, okay, like kind of like that fake it till you make it mentality, like just go out there and like do it. Like there's these people are here, you have a whole crowd of people here like expecting a show, like you know, you gotta be there and perform, and kind of separating myself from who I am on stage a little bit in that sense, you know. And yeah, and it's like I see my like kind of myself evolving throughout like that first tour where it was like at the beginning I was a little bit more shy and reserved on stage. I think by like the third or fourth show that we played, it was like I think one of our like a sold out show in Athens, and there was just so many people in that room, and just I feel like you kind of feed off that energy when you see that people are there and they're so excited to be there, and we start playing our songs and everybody starts going crazy. I feel like I was feeding into that, and then I kind of let loose totally, and I was like, you know, I was able to take my mic off of the mic stand and roam around stage and get up real close to people's faces and scream at them, you know what I mean? So yeah, and it's like seeing that and now like a whole year later, like this last tour that we did across Canada was really good. I feel like just playing together with the band, like we're all, you know, really comfortable now on stage and we're really comfortable playing with each other. And yeah, it's gotten to the point where it's like, you know, I feel really good at where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And you know, evolving towards the future. We'll see what I say in like a year, you know.
That's awesome because really, you know, the heart of punk rock is people going up and giving it a go, regardless of experience or rehearsing lessons, that sort of thing, you know, but giving it a go. And you aren't the first Black Flag singer to go from zero to full speed with no lessons and very little preparation to get out there. How do you manage your vocal care? Because I would imagine, you know, after a show or two in a row, your voice is pretty shot, or you know, I'm assuming you haven't had a lot of vocal training up till this point. Maybe you are now.
Not really, to be honest. I would say like the same thing. Like when we first started rehearsing, I think it's something that like I'm happy that we had that month for me to really prepare and kind of like train some different vocal techniques as we're rehearsing that first month. Because I remember like that first week, like we practiced maybe like 5 or 6 days in a row. And that by the end, I was like, whoa, like my voice hurts. Like I feel like I can barely sing. And then it's just kind of like trying out different techniques and like kind of evolving that to a point where I felt a lot more comfortable. And now it's like once we play a show, like, yeah, of course my voice is going to be tired right after, but I feel like that 24-hour like rest between shows is always enough for me to kind of get back on. And, you know, I'm always fine by the next day when I wake up. So
Okay.
I guess But yeah, and especially when we play like a lot of shows like back to back to back, I feel like it's kind of good for my voice in the way where it's like it's used to doing that every night. So it's not like as painful. Not that it's painful, but it's not like as tiresome, I would say,
Yeah.
after we've been doing it for so long.
Okay. So you now coming to Australia. You've played how many you guys have played a ton of countries, Coachella,
Yeah.
just did some shows in Canada. Now you're coming down to Australia.
Hong
Um
Kong before Australia.
oh
I'm
far
flying out to Hong Kong on Friday.
oh far out.
Long ass flight.
Yeah. What are you most excited about coming to Australia besides playing and the music? Anything of interest you're looking to do while you're here?
Ooh, well, to be honest, after the tour is over, like the guys are going back to America, but for me, I'm gonna be sticking around in Australia for an extra 2 weeks after. I have a few friends that actually live in Melbourne, so I'm gonna be hanging out for with them for a little bit. I'm just excited, for the weather, see some beaches, just exploring the city, exploring nature, just kind of seeing a little bit of everything in that
Okay.
time that I have.
I hate to disappoint you, but Melbourne this time of year, you're not going to want to be at the beach. Um, just
Cold? Is it cold because it's like winter?
well, I call it
Or like
California cold. It's like you put on a couple layers, but it's yeah. Melbourne beaches are there are other beaches. Maybe when you're up on the Gold Coast or Brisbane, they'll still be
yeah.
all right. But yeah, Melbourne beaches tend to be that's a little bit down south, kind of closer to
Okay.
towards Antarctica to give you an idea of
Okay, yeah, because it's like
but
my flight is flying out from Melbourne like 2 weeks after the show, but it's like our last show is in Gold Coast. So maybe I'll stick around in Gold Coast for a little bit, go to Melbourne for a little bit, and then fly out.
hanging around there. Melbourne's a great town. You're going to have a phenomenal time.
Yeah,
So,
I'm excited.
yeah. Oh, very cool. Okay. Well, yeah, you're not going to have a whole lot of time on tour to see too much. You guys have 4 dates in a row. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, I think out of like touring, I love to be able to travel and I love being able to see all these places. But the like thing that's sad sometimes is how fast paced it all is. It's like you never get enough time to really explore the cities or see it as much as you really want to explore.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Who,
but
who are some vocalists or some artists? Obviously a non-Black Flag camp that you look up to.
this to be honest, I don't know why I have a hard time answering this question. I feel like when I try to think of like the same genre, like I love a lot of like punk bands, but I feel like my music taste is like so vast that I
Hmm.
don't really focus on like specific punk bands that inspire me. Like I feel like I get inspiration from kind of all over the place. And in terms of like inspiration on like getting up on stage and doing what I do, I feel like that comes a lot more from like within than it does from, what other people inspire me to do.
Hmm.
Like of course it's like the guy, like Black Flag is Black Flag. Like it's been around. Like of course I take inspiration from the past singers, but I feel like I also just put my own twist on it. Um
Oh yeah. Well, let me
yeah,
ask you, you're familiar with a lot of the Australian bands that are coming out here? Amel and the Sniffers.
yeah,
Uh,
I've heard of them.
I don't know if you've seen Frenzy. They're Melbourne, but also
Fancy.
Greek. I think they're also out of Greece. They're pretty amazing. Um,
Okay.
yeah. Any other artists or any Australian artists that you're particularly be smitten with these days?
Australian artist. Well, when we were on tour, when we were playing at Coachella, I saw the Chats play, and that was really cool. I really liked their set. They have a lot of energy. It was a really fun crowd to be in. Who else? Australian. Let me think. Whoa, I'm not too sure to be honest. Um,
No,
Let me think.
maybe you'll discover some when you come down.
Oh yeah, for sure. I hope so.
So, Max, I really appreciate you taking the time to chat. By the way, are you a record nerd? Do you collect records? Is vinyl important to you at all?
Ooh, you know what? I don't have a record player, but when I'm in Texas and I'm staying at David's house, like the bass player, He's a big record guy. He loves records. Every time we're on tour, he's stopping at every record store and picking up records. And like, I feel like since I've spent a lot of time with him when I'm out in Texas, and like sometimes I'll buy records when I'm traveling just to bring them to his place because I know he has a record player. So somewhat. I feel like I've gotten into it a lot more this past year since meeting David.
Yeah. What is the most what is the record or the song in your playlist that would surprise most people?
Ooh, let me think. Like record specifically. Whoa, I don't know. I love a band from Arizona called Sun City Girls a lot. I feel like they're someone that I take like a lot of like kind of inspiration from. I love like they're just kind of like they're very different and experimental, and I really love their stuff. I love Frank Zappa a lot.
Ooh.
I love a lot of Brazilian bands and a lot of Brazilian music. Jupiter Massa is one of my favorite Brazilian artists, and Patife Band. It's like another Brazilian band that I really love. That's kind of like there's some punk undertones in that too, in what they do. Um,
Were
yeah,
your parents really into music? Did you grow up in a musical household?
I don't know. I wouldn't say so, to be honest. I feel like no, I wouldn't say so.
Uh-huh.
Parents were like they're pretty religious, so I grew up like singing hymns, and I have like the only time I have like I sang into a microphone before joining Black Flag was when I was like 10 years old, and I was at church and I was singing Jesus Loves Me with my grandma playing piano.
Well, you still are singing hymns. It's just a different church now.
Yeah.
What's their response to this
Oh,
stratospheric change?
okay, to be honest, for the um when it was time for me to like, kind of tell my mom what I was doing and like go out to Texas to do it and rehearse with the band, I told her that I was actually selling merch for Black Flag. And I told her that I was just going there like before the tour to prepare the merch, and that we were gonna like fly overseas to Europe, and I was gonna be selling merch with them the whole time. So it was something that I was just honest with her about for a little while. I was kind of scared to tell her the truth because I really didn't know what her reaction was gonna be. But I think that to be honest, like looking back, like she found out in the end. Like I think it was at the end of our European tour, and we were playing like in Germany. My sister had told me, she's like, okay, like mommy found out, like, and I was like, oh. But I think it was something that I needed to kind of like lie about to be able to get there. And then once I was able to do it and, kind of be able to like come home and show her, what I had done and what I was able to achieve, and that I came back in one piece and I was safe and I was like, well taken care of. I think that, it worked out in the end, and she's like super supportive and really happy for me.
Oh,
Um, yeah.
that's great. You have so many people on your side, Max, and watching what you guys are doing, it's really interesting kind of new chapter to the band. And there's been a lot of turbulence in the past. I'm sure you're very aware of it.
Yeah.
What do you think this formation will add to the Black Flag legacy?
Um, I mean, hopefully, like, I really hope that we were able to get some new music out. And I, I don't know. I guess it is like, kind of um, a different chapter, just bringing in like younger people to come and, fill in these spots for people, because it's like when the band was playing back in the 80s, they were all like our age. So be able to like, you know, go forward like what, like 50 years since the band started, and now, we're back to that like 20-year-olds playing Black Flag songs. I think that that definitely is going to leave a mark on, the history of Black Flag, and I hope that we're able to do a lot with it and play a lot of shows and, inspire a lot of people. I feel like I've heard a lot. It's like me being like a woman vocalist. I've heard like a lot of girls and women at our shows will come up to me after and tell me that they're, in bands or that they want to start a band and that they've been inspired to do that. And I think that's so important. And I love to hear that. And yeah, makes me happy to be able to inspire people in that way.
That's great. Well, we're happy. You're happy, Max. Again, Black Flag coming to Australia, 4 days, May 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Gold Coast. Tickets at troubadourpresents.com. Check them out. And Max, we look forward to hearing more of the adventures of the new lineup and hopefully some new music in the near future.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. This was great.
Excellent. Take care. Travel safe.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Oh, good on them. Good on them. I'm glad they're enjoying themselves. They look like they're having a lot of fun. Thank you, Max. And we look forward to hosting you here in Australia. You know the dates. End of May, troubadourpresents.com. Head out to one of those shows, and if Greg sees you singing along with the music, well, you may be the next vocalist yourself. And that's it for this episode of The Vinyl Guide. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks to everyone leaving positive reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And of course, you patreon.com/Vinyl Guide Legends. You are awesome. We'll be back shortly with a brand new episode. So until we talk next time, you all behave yourselves. And thanks again for listening to The Vinyl Guide Podcast. Cheers.